In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Facebook ads and how you can use it to promote your next single or album before it's even out. Hey everyone, Andrew Southworth, GenereStudios.com. Facebook ads is one of the most important tools that any musician can ever learn because it gives you the access to millions or billions of people that are specifically targeted in a way that they'll be most likely to dig your music. And over the past couple of years, I've gotten a good amount of experience on Facebook ads. Just showing you my Facebook ad manager here for a sec. I've run a lot of Facebook and Instagram advertisements, as you can see, and I've reached over 2.7 million people, and I've spent almost $4,500 testing everything that I've learned. So that's why I think that I can actually show you how to get results. Some of you might have seen this video right here where I compare some results I got from my last single, Neutron, and compared it to results I got from previous singles using playlist type promotion methods on Spotify. And of course, the Facebook ad results were dramatically better, specifically using Instagram story ads, which is how I'm going to show you how to set up the ads here. And a lot of you there were asking how to set up the ads. And even in a couple of videos after that, people were asking, how the heck do you do this Facebook ad thing? So this isn't going to be the same type of campaign where you're clicking a link and going to Spotify because the song's not out. This is how you build the list and generate specific people you can target before your single is out. So let's dive right into Facebook ads. Now, this is what Facebook ads looks like right now. Every 6 months or so, they pretty dramatically change what this looks like. Just look for the right words and you'll become familiar with however it looks whenever you're watching this video. But right now, if you want to start a new campaign, you click this create button right here. Now, in particular, the two types of ads I'm going to be doing, one of them is a traffic ad. That means I'm getting people to my website to give me their email and download the song for free. And then later on down the line, I'll be emailing them, hey, the song's out. Could you go check it out on Spotify, maybe save it? And then the other type is going to be video views, which I think counts. Oh no, there's video views right here. And that's just to have people watch the video, and then later on I'm going to retarget anyone that watches more than 95% of the video, because chances are if they did, they're interested. This ad's not even going to have a link associated with it. So it's just about getting eyeballs and ears on the music. So we're going to set up the video views campaign first. Once you do that, you get to name your campaign. So my song is called You. So I'm going to do You video views campaign exposure pre-launch. Doesn't really matter what you name it, just do whatever you can remember it. I typically do a daily budget. You can also set a lifetime budget, but that's up to you. Typically, for something like this, I'll probably start with $5 a day and then just click continue. This campaign budget optimization thing is eventually going away. I'll explain what that is as we get through this process. All right, so now we're into the ad set. Now, if you look on the left here, this is kind of like the structure of how Facebook ad works. You have the overall campaign, and then inside of the campaign, you can have a bunch of different audiences. And this is what we call an ad set. And then inside of an ad set, you can have a bunch of different ads. And the way that campaign budget optimization works is that you can say, I want to spend $5 a day across all these audiences and all these ads. And Facebook is going to go out and find you the cheapest / best results between all of those. So if one audience and one specific ad inside that audience is always performing best, it's going to put most of the funding into that specific ad. And it might divvy up things between, let's say if you have 5 ads across maybe 5 different audiences, so one ad in each audience, it might put 50% between these two and 25% between those two, and then it's going to divvy it up in whatever way it makes sense. So we already set up the campaign, and now we're setting up the ad set. So I'm going to name it after, because I like to name this with a way that I can understand what's inside the actual audience. Over here on the right, this is an estimated audience size of the people you're targeting. This will adjust along with the reach and through play count. Since we're doing a video view campaign, the optimization result, Facebook's going to try and get us the most amount of through plays, which is actually a 15-second view. So for Instagram stories, that's exactly what the length they are, 15 seconds. So for $5 a day, targeting 230 million people, which is essentially the entire United States, aside from children, it's going to get us these results. Now we have this audience section here. This custom audiences we're going to ignore for now, but we're going to take advantage of that when you see my video that comes out on March 13th, and that's going to cover the actual campaign for the Spotify traffic that I'll be generating. But today we're targeting new people. So I'm going to ignore this section entirely, and then I'm going to go to locations. So I have something set up then go to browse here, saved locations, and I can just click this green light. Now what you can do is you can start typing in United States, United Kingdom, and you can type in whatever you think makes sense for your campaign. But if you want to add a bunch of locations in bulk by country, you can type a bunch here in a list and then you can save that. So when I go here and click browse and hit save locations and click green light, that's all I did ahead of time. So this is the list. I'll scroll through so you can see what I'm targeting. United States, Ireland, Japan, French Polynesia, Virgin Islands, Netherlands, French Guinea, New Zealand, Norway, Canada, Netherlands, more United States, Sweden, Switzerland, United Kingdom, Belgium, Australia, Austria, France, Germany. So the reason why those are the countries I'm targeting is because I'm pretty sure they're all in Spotify, meaning that they can have access to Spotify in their country, and they're more like leading first world countries. It's weird to say, but the countries that spend money online. It's not like China and India. Not that there's anything wrong with China and India, but the economies are drastically different and the income levels are drastically different. And now we get to age here. Now I typically will do I might start at 13, but I'll often do 16. This is up to you and your audience. If you're making like classic rock, you probably want to target a different demographic. I do poppy electronic music. So I'm going to do 16 to 44. Let's do to 54. It's okay to be too broad here because Facebook is going to target in on the specific age groups that performs best. Typically males click more of my ads and get cheaper results, but I just do all genders because I'd rather let Facebook figure that out than me just exclude all women up front. Now detailed targeting, this is where it gets a little more interesting. First of all, I'm going to make Spotify a requirement. If your main focus is not Spotify, put in whatever else here is your main focus. It's limited to what you can type in this box. You can't type in anything you want, like DistroKid or something. But Spotify is a very common one, and that's going to be for my future campaigns. I'm going to be sending people to Spotify, so I want to have people that I kind of retarget later that are already vetted through Spotify. Now, down here I can exclude people, or I can narrow this audience. When you do exclude people, it's kind of like a negative result. So if I typed in exclude people, I don't know, rock music, it's going to people that have Spotify but dislike rock music or don't like rock music. So now our audience is going to do like a and, or kind of like a multiplication. So if I say they have to like Spotify and electronic music, here we go, electronic music, maybe electronic dance music. That's good. And I'm actually also going to type in electronic music. And I could probably also do pop music, but I feel like that's kind of too broad because Ariana Grande and Michael Jackson are pop, and that's like way more different than electronic, which, you know, while Skrillex is much different from what I'm doing, I feel like those people are more likely to dig my music than like a Ed Sheeran type of person would. And that's it in terms of detailed targeting. Now we get into the manual placements. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to be using this on Instagram stories because at this moment in time, Instagram stories hasn't become as saturated as regular Facebook feed ads or Instagram feed ads. So the prices and the performance is generally better. So the way you can do this is just exclude Facebook Audience Network and then exclude Messenger. And actually I'm going to turn on some things later. Basically I want to turn off all these feeds, and then I'm going to have all the story options. So Facebook stories, Instagram stories, Messenger stories, all the stories are really what I meant, not just Instagram stories. And then that's all the placements they're going to be. And then here, this is kind of a check. It's going to be optimizing for through play. You can set some more advanced settings down here. If you choose like a budget, like a total budget, you can set the start and end dates of your campaign down here. And there's a few more options here that I never really touch. Now we go to continue, and now we're in your actual ad. So you can have them kind of create an ad for you based on your previous post or whatever, but typically it's best to create your own ad. Now, you have to do some setup ahead of time to link your accounts, but it's very easy. Facebook will guide you through it. Feel free to ask me any questions, but I feel like Facebook is the best resource. This is the Instagram account that's going to be associated with it. And now I'm going to add a video. All right, so that's uploading. So now perfect chance for you to see the specific video I'm using. So if you happen to see my last video, you can click right here to check that out, where I made 50 pieces of content for this single, I made that very, very easily, very simply, very cheaply. And it's a pretty good type of performance. It doesn't look too overproduced. It's very simple. There's no text on it, which Facebook and Instagram ads will flag you for text, like they'll reduce your reach because normal social media posts don't tend to have much text. So you can have a little bit, but the least amount of text is preferred. So now that's here. In terms of primary text, we're on a story platform, so text isn't really relevant. And then you can add a URL. In my case, I'm not going to. Nope, something just loaded. But if you click this, it'll let you add the URL, and then it'll also let you add a call to action. So later on, I'll be doing, listen now when I'm driving people to Spotify, and when I do the other ad, I'll be doing download. So in this case, I'm not gonna have a URL. So that's it in terms of setting up the ad. You can verify it here. You can check how it'll look on different platforms. And then now you can see this thing called conversion tracking Facebook Pixel. I'm gonna talk about that in the second ad that we set up in this video. So for now, just gloss over it. All right, so now that ad is actually created. Now I did forget to name it. So I'm gonna call this Green Light Electronic EDM 16 to 54. And that's just a pretty good descriptor for me to look. All these names and stuff are just for you. Your audience is not going to see them. Just make sure it's something that will help you later on when you have like a few of these and you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So now I can click the campaign. That's going to bring me to this like a dedicated campaign view, and I can actually just click on this. This is the ad set, and I can just click duplicate. In this case, it's going to copy this original campaign, and it's going to be the exact same ad. So I'm going to do show existing reactions, comment on shares. For a story, it doesn't matter, but later on when you do Instagram or Facebook ads, you don't want to have all your different ads. You want to have one ad, because if someone likes it from this ad, you want it to show up on that ad, because people tend to engage more with things that have other engagement. It's kind of like the viral or the mob mentality effect. So for this, I'm going to call it negative green light. And for the simple reason, so all this is this is the only thing that's gonna change right here. So the easiest way to clear this list, you can go and click all of them one by one. What I do is I type in worldwide, and then I deletes all of them, and then I click delete. And then now, well actually, in this case, I can't actually just keep worldwide. But instead, I'm gonna do, oh, here we go. I always forget how to do this. Exclude green light. So now we have everywhere in the world except for my green light audiences. Now, I am also going to exclude India, because India gives like the cheapest ad results in the world. So if you have them there as a country, every single ad you have on here is going to be sent to India, and you don't want that, because you want to kind of like hit everywhere in the world and have a diverse group. So you can make another one of these ad sets targeted exclusively at India later, but you know, that's up to you whether you want it to. I typically do. Then just click review and publish. Up here, this will publish both the new ad and the new ad set. All right, so now we're in campaigns here. You can see the basic structure. We have a campaign and we have two ad sets. Inside of this ad set, there is an ad. You can have multiple ads inside of an ad set. The more the merrier, because this allows you to beta test between this ad in this audience and this ad in this audience. But then also in this other audience, you can test this ad versus this ad. And in this audience, you can test this versus this ad. And different audiences will react to different ads differently. So this allows you to really have the best of the best. And you can really go specific. You know, you can make an ad to the United States that says like, or to Massachusetts, and say, hey, you live in Massachusetts and like EDM? I'm doing a show there next week. And then you could have another ad to New Hampshire and say, hey, you're in New Hampshire and like electronic music, I'm playing a show there tomorrow. So that's kind of one of the miracle things about Facebook ads, is that you don't have to do one ad to every single person in the world. All right, so that was all fun. Now let's step up the level of complexity a little bit. I'm gonna create a brand new campaign focused on conversions. This is where we get into something that people think is complicated, but really is not complicated. All a conversion is an activity that someone does that you want them to do. So basically, if a traffic campaign is when you want someone to click on your ad and go to your website, and that's where that transaction ends for Facebook. A conversion would be someone clicks on your ad, goes to your website, enters their email, and then Facebook tracks that as a success. And the way you do this is through the Facebook Pixel. I'll explain that as we go. This is going to be you free download early access campaign. I'll also do $5 to start. I might tweak this later. Click continue. And now to explain the Pixel, I'll show you the website that I have this installed on. This is my ClickFunnels account. You don't have to use ClickFunnels. This is just what I use for my marketing campaigns. And basically, if I go to this page, you'll see that it has an opt-in form where someone enters their name and their email address. It says, hey, download my upcoming single for free and here before anyone else. And then what happens is when someone clicks this button, it submits their email and takes them to a thank you page once this loads. And then on the thank you page, I have a custom code in here that tells Facebook that this person completed their registration. Now, in the header of this website, I have a custom code. Don't worry about how this really works. Facebook has a guide for how to set this up, but basically, you copy and paste a code from your Pixel page, I forget what it's called, and paste it into the header of your website, and that sets up all the tracking information automatically. And then on whatever page you want to tell Facebook this action is complete, you embed that complete registration code or purchase code or event registration confirmed code or whatever the code is. Facebook has a whole list of things you can set up, and you can make your own if nothing fits your situation exactly. And then here, this is where you set up what's happening, the destination of the website. I'm using my Pixel. I'm going to delete this specific event. These are all custom conversions that I set up. I'm just going to use complete registration. I don't know why there's an issue on that, but that should work. I'll test this later. There's some advanced settings here that you typically don't need to mess with, but you can think about it if you want. 7 days after clicking or 1 day after viewing. In this case, I want it to be 1 day click or view, because if you're doing ticket sales and it's time limited, then maybe someone will come back 5 days later because they saw your ad, and you want to track that in Facebook. It doesn't affect how the money you're spending gets spent, because you get charged per impression, not per result, because otherwise you can make an impossible result and make millions of free impressions, and Facebook would just lose money. So we'll ignore these settings. This gets more advanced, and the dynamic created an offer, so I'm going to skip that. Now, in this case, what I'm going to do is I have an option here. I can target a previous audience that I've created. I had a website where I was sending people to listen to my music on Spotify, and there were 1,200 people in that audience in the last, it was really in the last month, and I could retarget those people. Now, I also made what's called a lookalike audience based off that specific audience, which is like millions of people, 38 million people large, and that's based off of people who are most similar to that audience. Again, if you want me to talk about these topics more in detail, I'm going to be covering in that March 13th video, but leave me questions down below on what confuses you so I know exactly what to spend more time on. Now, since this is an ask, this isn't like a just watch my video, I'm going to do my Spotify Bridge custom 180 days for this audience. So this is going to be targeting people who already liked my music. They already clicked and went to my music on Spotify. And in particular, since that's a group of audience that I already established, I'm just going to do worldwide to include that entire 1,200 person audience. And then for age, I'm just going to make it wide open because, again, it's a specific audience. In terms of interest, again, it's already existing audience. Manual placements, do the same thing here. I'll do it a different way. I can turn off feeds, in-stream, search, in-article, apps and sites. If you want me to talk about that more, leave me a comment, and that'll put it all to the stories. Hit continue, add your Instagram account, add your video. In this case, I have a second video. It's almost exactly the same. All I did is wrote early access on the bottom. And now here, I am going to enter in a website because I have a conversion. And then for my call to action in particular, I'm going to do download. So on the bottom of the ad, all right, finally it uploaded. So as you can see, this is how the ad is different. It's the same thing you saw before. It just says free early access at the bottom. And I made the text very small so that Instagram and Facebook don't say, hey, there's a lot of text in this video. It also rolls in at the beginning and rolls out at the end, so it's not there the whole time. And then this call to action just gets thrown in at the bottom. You can go and test and see how this looks on different platforms. Hopefully it works out. They're all very slightly different, but they're all owned by Facebook, so they're similar enough. I entered in my link here, website, call to action, don't need primary text and headline because it's an Instagram story ad. And then I have my Facebook Pixel on. So remember, the whole stuff about the Facebook Pixel is I'm embedding a code in my website that's associated with my specific Facebook Pixel ID. Anytime someone clicks my ad and goes to that website, Facebook is going to know. Even if someone goes to that website just for me sending them the link, Facebook is going to track them and let me retarget them in the future all around the internet if I want. But specifically when they go there from this ad and then complete registration, Facebook's going to know, hey, we sent that person there and they completed registration. So they give you a little check and say, one person completed registration. You're not charged per conversion, you're charged per impression. And an impression is the video pops up in their story. If they click skip, doesn't matter, they had an impression. If they watch all 15 seconds, doesn't matter, had an impression. If they click, they still had an impression. So the conversion is just a tracking metric based on if they clicked it. Now we're going to click confirm. Now I don't just want to have that one custom audience in there because it's only 1,200 people large, so I'm not going to get that many results from it. Even if 10% of the people do it, which probably less will, that's only 120 people. And I want more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to create audience. And again, this is, well, not again, I haven't told you this, but click this audiences or these little dots up here. Ads manager is what we were just in, and audience is where you want to go. To learn how to set up the Facebook pixel, you go to this thing called events manager. So go to here, create audience and custom audience. I already have a bunch of video views for a previous campaign I ran on my song Neutron. So I'm going to do, what is it, Instagram? No, I think it's video. Engagement, I'm going to do people who watched at least 95% of my video. And now I want to find my story post, which could actually be kind of, oh, Instagram business. All right, here we go. So this is a 15-second story ad, and it had 29,000 3-second views. I don't know how many 95% views it had, but I will find out shortly. So we'll hit confirm. And then I can also add another video. In this case, I will. I'll do 75%. And in this case, I'm still going to go to Instagram, but I'm going to find a different ad here, or different social media post here. All right, so this one had 2,700 3-second views. So again, I don't know how many people it had there, but I'm going to say Neutron, 95% story, 75% IG feed, and then it's going to create, and it might take up to 30 minutes for that to create. But we can actually go and set that up inside of Ads Manager as we do this. So all you do is you find your YouTube, or your free download early access, or whatever your song is. I should rename this, but for now we'll just click duplicate, 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 duplicate. And here I'm going to title this Neutron Video 95% Audience. And I'm also doing complete registration. Instead of doing this ad here, or this audience here, search existing audiences. It takes a sec to load once you click it. And custom audience, and there it is. So at this point, I just hit review and publish, and everything else is the same. We know we set that up right, and so now we have this new thing getting posted. And that's all there is to setting up these things. All right, Andrew from the future here. Originally, I was going to give you a 24-hour update. Then I realized it's not really enough time or money spent to fully evaluate the ads. While there has been 52,000 impressions and 3,100 through plays in the video views campaign, the download campaign has required a lot more massaging, and conversion campaigns take longer to get rolling. So the topic of Tuesday's video is going to be more on this and all the things I've been doing to get that actually performing the way I want it to. So make sure to subscribe by clicking this thing right here, and check out the rest of the videos in this playlist, in this top thing right there, and the one down below is what YouTube thinks you should watch next. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Ask me questions below, and I'll get to them in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.